Welcome to episode 2 of Chaotic Convos. I am your host, It Figures 89, along with my co-host, Chaos Wrestling Club.
Hey, yo.
And our guest for today, one of the most prolific 3D head printers in the custom wrestling figure game. A game changer himself, a legend, an icon, hausfourteen.
What up?
What's up, brother?
A little bit more than that, not just a head printer, you know.
Hey, man, more than that. That's exactly right. More than that.
That's the meat of it, though.
Yeah,
That's the meat and potatoes of it. Exactly.
These days.
So let's get right into it. Let's dive in. No condom, raw dog. Jordan, how did you start doing what you do? How did you come about 3D printing? What led you to say, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to take my ball and go home.
3D printing. I don't know why. I was looking into it with on Warsman's website, and at the time there was only Warsman doing. I mean, I didn't really see much like Star Wars or anything like that. I just saw Warsman's, and there was a lot on there, like, and to be fair, he was fine with me. I messaged him and I was gonna have some off him, but then I thought, nah, like, fuck it, man, do it myself. Like, I got a bit of money spare. So I bought a printer. I had Tom Veg do my first print for me, and I liked it. I liked that Tom, but I'd created something there and then. All credit to Tom. He was busy, and I wanted more. So I just reached out on Fiverr. I was talking to you about it, Tom. You know, yeah, Tinder for sculptors. Found someone from there, and we just went from there. But the reason that I wanted to do it was when I first started customizing, we didn't have that. We had casts. We didn't have people. I mean, I'm pretty sure I started before Curb. There used to be best in the world decals on eBay, and you had CM Punk tattoos, and that was it. So I always said I wanted to be able to do things that we didn't have available when we started. You know, sculpting and casting, and that was big at the time. But as far as I'm aware, I was the first to do it after Warsman. I will give credit to Warsman. Warsman was the first to do it. Warsman inspired me to do it. Yeah, he inspired me to do it. I wanted to do things for myself and for, you know, make things available. To be honest with you, I took to it quite easy. I mean, it's easy as piss anyway, ain't it, Jay? But, you know, I just liked it, and it took over, and over time it's just become, like you said, the meat and veg.
So you got into that originally doing heads, I'm assuming, right? You said you
it was heads.
Gave you the inspiration.
Yeah, it was heads. Warsman at the time was doing stuff that I wasn't interested in, like your classic wrestlers, and I wanted New Japan. Do you know what I mean? I wanted Bullet Club.
Yeah, I know your Fale was one of your earliest prints. So
yeah, well, originally I was working on a Jax Rikishi for Fale.
Okay.
And it just wasn't working for me, and that's when I sort of said, do you know what? Fuck it. And I spent what Tom wanted. Which one of the reasons I also wanted to go off and do it myself. You know, like I said, not knocking Tom, he's a businessman, but it wasn't within my budget. Because when you're first starting out and you drop in like 200, 250 on a head,
right? You're only selling every time.
Yeah, and you're only selling 10 of to start with, and that's 10 at £10. You're in the red immediately. You're already in the red for the hundreds that you spent on the printer and that. So that's why I went off and sort of made it. You've got to make it profitable. You know, I always say it's not always about the money, but if there's got to be a line where you draw, where if you're not making profits, you know what I mean?
It's
Totally.
crazy these days to think that there are people that still are out there that act shocked or surprised when they find out that you're making anything off of what you're doing. And they act, they act shocked, like, "Oh, you mean to tell me it's only costing you, for me, I can speak for myself. It's only costing you $45 or $40 in supplies, and you're selling them for $80, $90, and what
Hey,
have you." And it's like,
bro,
yeah,
it's
you
it's
know,
never about parts. It's about time.
time and effort,
Exactly.
man.
That's what I try to.
I gotta get up. I could be doing other things, but you want me to spend my time doing something for you, so you're gonna have to pay me for that.
Well, you take into
Absolutely.
account on printing, you got your printer outlay, you got your electricity, you got your resin, you got your tissue, you got your alcohol, you got your wipes, you got your time, you got endless amount of things. Yeah, it might, there's always
Dude,
overlays to things.
people ask
None of
me
that's free.
weekly, daily, why so expensive? Why so? I'm like, dude, like, yeah, there's a little bit of work that goes into it. Not to mention, time's the most valuable. I mean, we
Right.
can't. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Can
You
you
can't get
imagine
back.
that
We can get everything
I'm
else
getting
back.
more back? Right.
The most common one I get is, can you make so and so? Yes. How much? 150, and you'll get a free painted print. Oh, that's a bit more than I was expecting. And I'm like, mate, I'm not going to do you a fucking $40 head that I can't sell of your granddad. Do you know what I mean? It's got
Same
to
with the
be.
custom belts.
Yeah.
Same
You gotta
exact same
have
thing.
you gotta have somebody else take the time to design it, and then have your machine specifically run to do that.
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Well, Dan, at the end of the day, Daniel gets what he gets paid. Whether I sell one, whether I sell 1,000, I always slip him some extra if I do well on a print. But for me to be making someone's granddad, Daniel gets paid. Daniel's happy, but then I've spent 2 weeks waiting for something that who wants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh yeah, but that head's only £10 in your store." Yeah, it was. Like, it didn't cost me £10 to get made.
Right. When 100 people, or not even 100, but when 30 people, 20 people want it, yeah, it's £10. But when you're the only one that's guaranteed to buy
3
it, and I
people.
for
Yeah.
sure will not sell this to anyone else.
This
Then
is
yeah,
why. So this is why I know you don't.
it's like a split pot.
I know you don't massively understand why I do this, Jace, but with the limited prints, the reason I do mine like that now is because once that run sells out, I know I'm in the black. So what I want to do then is I want to say, for example, let's just use numbers. Let's just say I paid Daniel 50, and selling a run out means I get 100. So I've doubled my money. That 50 then goes to Daniel for the next one.
Mhm.
So the reason I want to limit things is because, I mean, like, I've been quiet while Daniel's been away, so I've been doing separate runs and doing this and doing that and doing that. But once that, when you print 10 random heads and one of them fails, and you got to go back and print that one again, blah blah. So what I don't want to be doing is keep chasing old prints. So the reason I limit it is because I know I've made money on that, and I don't want to be making 4, 5, 6 times the money,
No,
because
it totally makes sense too. Because even I obviously don't do that. I'm just like a McDonald's. Like, you pull up, what do you want? Boom, you got it. Boom. But I have done the almost like assembly line, kind of like how you do when you just get in that flow of, how to paint this head. Boom, 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 boom. Then that fifth head goes by like quick. I do that with belts as well. Like, I'll paint.
It's the way for me. So like, if something sells out, it's not gone forever. It's just at the minute that's sold out. Now in 4 months' time, when
It'll make it
I'm
hot
running,
too.
yeah, and I'm running out on new designs or something, or Daniel goes on holiday again, I'll go, right, oh, another run's back on now.
Well, your Bullet Club run just showed back up, and I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I had to put them back on. I've had a lot of people asking for Bullet Club, because obviously there's a lot of missing pieces in there. But then, things like this. So ELP, this is a classic one, but I had Daniel rework it. So it pops on, whereas before it didn't. So eventually that'll come back on the store.
Oh, so dope.
Now, Jordan, I know that we've talked about recently about your paint work being levels above what it was even this time last year. What did you originally get into the game by painting and then you printed later, or did you print first and just say, fuck it, I'm gonna have to learn to paint myself?
So when I used to do customs predominantly, originally I would avoid painting heads. Then there was obviously you got casts and stuff, and when casts come, you got to paint. So I remember I was lying in bed with Steph the one morning, and I'd made a more accurate Moxley and what's his name, Tangaloa from a Jason Jordan, and I remember thinking like, fucking hell, I'm sick. Like, this is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was selling the casts and I was doing everything, like, look how great this is. And then like 6 months after, I looked at it and I was like, fuck me, that's dog shit, man. Like the eyes were like this, and you know, and then I thought to myself, like, originally I wasn't
the goldfish
painting.
eyes.
Yeah, it was bad, and like it was like I was painting eyes with like fucking this.
Ooh.
And like it got to the point where obviously people were saying like, can you paint this for me if I buy it from your store? And I'm like, oh, I can. So I had to just go with it and
jump in.
You just self-taught. You just winged it.
This is what
and I think it's important to note that even like you said, when you started, you had really no intentions or idea. You just kind of like winged it. But like we've talked about, there's got to be a certain sense of like self-awareness. You know what I mean? Like if you decide like, I'm going to attempt to paint this head or attempt to paint these trunks or these tights or whatever they may be, excuse me, and you decide that you want to go on with painting that, and you do what you believe is a good job enough for you to stop working on it and call it done, and you step back when you pose it and you step back and look at it, there's got to be some form of self-awareness that hits you, that filters out like, I can go from here, and like, this is a good place to start. I'm competent enough, and I think this looks okay. It could be better, and the separation from that, and then like, this looks like a bad kindergarten drawing. Like they tried to do it, like someone tried to draw with their non-dominant hand while they were drunk upside down.
Crayons.
Yeah, with chalk.
I'll be honest.
On glass.
I honestly, especially in the last 3 or 4 years when I'm a bit more aware of myself, I don't think I've ever been fully happy with anything I've ever made.
And that's the hunger, though. Same.
Yeah, that's what keeps you wanting to do better. Plus, if you ever think that you're the shit and you peak and you hit that
oh no, bro, I'm the shit.
Ceiling.
I'm the shit.
Yeah, we
know
know
what I mean. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
We know.
We're all the shit. Yeah.
Nah, honestly, I just I don't know. Like
we don't walk on the red carpet. We walk on toilet paper, baby.
I'm looking at the heads I've got there now, and I'm like, people are raving over them, saying like, oh, they're great, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, there's still room. Do you know what I mean? But this is what I was saying to you the other day, Tom. There's also a level of what people would do. So when we was doing the JDM competition, and I think it was who done the CM Punk that won?
I want to say it was Chargrove. No, I was up against Chargrove. Chargrove did the Wrath. I believe it was.
Yeah, he did Wrath. Yeah.
I believe it was Beyond the North.
No, it wasn't.
MBT,
it was an Australian.
Well, not my. Who's the
CMW?
Nah, it was
no.
It was in Australia. It was an Australian. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
When he did that, Nick, was it Nick Johnson? I don't know, whoever.
No,
they
he
did
had
that,
it sculpted the love handles on his
yeah, yeah,
hips
yes.
and did the hand
So
painted
my
tattoos.
complaint about that was it was too good. Do you know
No,
what
I
I
know what
mean?
you mean.
Like,
I know what you mean. Like you're trying to get 1/6 scale details into a 1/12 figure, and you're cramming too much into one spot, and it looks too much. I know what you mean.
so I was talking to a guy over here that does repaints on pretty much anything, and he's amazing. And I said, "How come you don't paint wrestling figures?" And he said, "Because on a Marvel Legends, you've got clothing. On a wrestling figure, someone wants you to paint a realistic face, but then you've got basic ass toned body." And he said it doesn't match. And that's when I sort of went, I'm not doing no tones no more.
Hmm.
You've got to find.
A lot of
You've
people
got to
say that doing eyes is the hardest part. I think once you get everyone has a different what am I trying to say? Like a different way to
process.
approach. Yeah, a
Yeah.
different process. But skin tone matching definitely is harder. And
That's
once
why I
you
don't
do
fuck
it,
with
you know
figures.
that shit's fucking hard, bro.
Yeah, I don't fuck with figures. Skin tones alone, let alone the teeth and the eyes and the little dots, but skin tone alone, I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to no way. I'm just trying to
Skin
throw
tone
gold and
is-
black
Even
on
people
something.
people that do it all the time, it intimidates us, bro. Like we do it for a semi living or a hobby, you could say, and it intimidates us. There's guys in a group chat that I'm in, pro top guys, that are just like, oh, time to paint eyes,
Yeah.
and
Scary
the whole chat's just like, oh man, L, bro. Like
See, I'm quite confident with them now. Like, I don't think they're as realistic as they could be,
you get in
but
a
they're
groove.
more than passable.
I love yours. I love how you do the shades of pink around the eye and then go in with the flesh and kind of blend it up. That way, as you get closer to the eyeball, there's more pink and red tones that
Well,
pop out.
that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Love that.
where you can't have skin tones and like blushes and stuff, you can do stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like,
Yep.
you know, blend the lip in and just try and get your tones from there. I'm just looking at, like, I've got this Jay White here, so it is one base flat color, but because the eyes and then the lips and it just
I think the
shows.
shine, the highlight of that print when you paint it is in the hair highlights and low lights. Being able to get those different browns into that hair and the beard.
This
That's
is
what sets
one.
it off.
So this is one that
Taker.
the Undertaker with
Ginger
the tones
Taker.
on. Yeah, with the tones on that
I'm getting
I'm
that
quite
head.
impressed with, because originally that was this color.
You got to put me one of those to the side. Seriously. No, for real. I love that print.
Not too bad. That's
I
from
like
an
it.
older designer as well. That was
I
before
like
then.
it a lot. All
Like
right,
it a
any
lot.
other probing questions?
I
For
got one
Jordan.
specifically for Jordan from Mr. Figglesworth. He just wants you to spill some tea. Spill all the tea. Get spicy.
Oh, spill that tea, baby. Look at him blushing too, Jaden.
You already know.
Look at him. Jordan immediately turned red, bro.
It was yeah. So spilling the tea. Not me.
We're all here for you, bro.
So what we spoke about before last time we was in chat, with, you know, like when they tried to get me cancelled just over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, I've sort of not so much stopped playing up to it, just not really. I don't let things bother me no more. You know, we all have days. You know, I mean, how many times I woke up to you, Tom, sent you a screenshot and said, like, fuck me. But then it don't bother me. I was talking to Cobb about it the other day. So when they tried to cancel me, Jets, last year, they tried to expose some private conversations where I'd been like talking shit
Who's
about
they?
people.
The bad guys?
Well, no one ever admitted it to it. There was I mean, I don't want to mention his name. Fucking.
Conspiracies. Okay. Anyway.
But they said like, "Oh, wait till we expose all the chats where he's been talking shit about you," and I was like, "Fucking do it, man!" Like, it was a private conversation, and if anything, you exposing my chats with these two people only shows that one of these two people leaked the chat, and then suddenly this account went off, and they was like, "Oh, whatever." But I was speaking to Cobb yesterday. It's Cobb, and I was like, "Bro, the amount of messages I get about other people, other 3D printers, other painters, other customizers, whatever, I can only imagine that people also talk shit about me, which is fine. Do what you want in your private chat, in private. If you know, it's childish at the end of the day, but when you start talking shit about people in stories, people are going to talk shit back. So if people want to talk shit about me, honestly, do not care. Talk shit about me to me, but don't complain when people talk shit about you in private.
Yeah, that was that thing. Go ahead.
There's also the interpretation of talking shit. So if I send you a screenshot of someone, Tom, and I say, "Fuck me," like, "Oh, this person's fucked up this design, blah blah blah," and then somehow they find out, that wasn't me like saying, "Oh no, well, you fucking," you know what I mean? It was me sort of saying like,
yeah, you're expressing a grievance. You know what I mean? If anything, and that's not really talking shit. And that was kind of taking stuff out of context like that. Like that's since we're spilling tea, I mean that was the whole like deal with me and the Nick Storm thing is that it got blown out of proportion, and when it did, like he tried to provide screenshots and do all this.
Is that when you were stalking him?
Yeah, so when I was just apparently harassing him because and he called me messaging him like once or twice a week, he called that harassment. And I was like, man, I hate to see what your line of communication to your real friends are if you think twice a week is harassment. But anyway, I forgive it. You know, he's Australian. I feel like Australians are just people from England or the UK that weren't doing so good. So
oh shit, man, my pictures just fell off the wall. 2 seconds.
Holy shit, bro. You got a poltergeist in the goddamn room.
Not the M&M.
Yeah, the M&M.
No,
I've only just hung it.
Oh shit, brother.
I need a few more
goddamn poltergeist.
A few more clips on there, I think. But yeah, I don't really bite to it anymore.
I always think if you don't have haters, you haven't made it yet, dude. So you're being noticed. That's why people are gonna hate.
That's right. Jordan strives every day.
Yeah, when you're on top,
Jordan
people are gonna be
for that C&D every day. You know, Jordan tells me every day he takes his vitamins and says his prayers and hopes for a C&D.
I actually do. Make me famous, please.
That's the goal, bro.
That's the goal. I think Jordan, he's not going to feel like he truly made it until he gets one. He's going to frame it.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm waiting for one because I messaged Brian Cage and I was like, "Yo, what's up, big guy?"
Hey.
And I was like,
"You tried him like that too."
No,
tried.
Yeah. I was like, Jazzware's proper did you dirty with that print. So how about this one? And he left me on red.
Oh,
he saw it.
So
savage.
I'm waiting now for Jeremy to come at me.
I'll spill some tea goddamn now about Preston Vance.
They won't. Check it out. I was at Double or Nothing, Vegas. When was that? June, July. Legit. I bring my shirts and my cards and everything. I'm like, yo, I'm selling these. Boom, boom, boom. The lead guy, the lead designer for Jazzwares was there, and I gave him. I wasn't able to meet Tony Storm and a few other people. Danhausen. I wasn't able to meet a few people because it was just booked up. But I gave the lead Jazzwares guy all my shirts, and he's like, "Oh my dude, these are so good." Blah blah blah. Who made these? I was like, "I did." He's like, "Are they for sale?" And I looked at my roommate, and I was like, "Fuck." Here we go.
I get the impression that Jazzwares are a little easier with it because Jeremy did a couple of polls last year, like best.
They're collector first.
I think it's Bill. Bill's the one who cuts you off.
Yeah, WWE's always been the big bad wolf too.
I'll frame it, bro, if I get one.
Me too, bro. Me too. You just.
I came close to.
We're gonna get it.
I came close to a lawsuit with one maybe about 18 months ago. Someone had recently passed away, and it was just unfortunate that that was when my design was done. And I wasn't sure who it was at the time, but I found out later it was his wife, and she wasn't funny, but she was like, "You shouldn't be using his likeness." And I was like, "Shit!" So I deleted it, and I messaged her, and I was like, "Look, really sorry, so on, so on. You just got such a big fan base." And she was like, "Look, how many of you are there? How many do you do? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "There's just one of me. I've sold 20, and I've got another 10." And she was like, "It's the best one I've ever seen. You'd be happy. Let me speak to my lawyers and get you some paperwork." And I was like, "Shit." Like,
Fuck yeah.
but then I never heard back from her.
Well, that's what I'm not gonna. We won't say any names or any factions or anything. Tommy and I have like something working with that too. Where I have something in the works as well that it looks great. Tommy has one. A few people have one, but I don't want to sell it to the masses until we get the green light from like the goods, really.
Right.
Yeah, no, fair. Me and Daniel are working on something at the minute. I haven't even told Tommy. It's not been announced yet, but it's official and it's mass.
Fuck yeah.
My finger is in the pie, but I have literally done fuck all but put Daniel with someone and took credit for it. I just want my name on a box.
Matchmaker.
Yeah, that's what we get. That's what we do, bro. Take what you can.
Just want my name on a box, that's all. But yeah, no, other than that, I've had no issues so far. Tommy knows I got shut down by someone recently before I even went with it. Other than that, I mean, most people, because they're not, I mean, no one's really making John Cena, do you know what I mean? You're making independent guys or lower card guys like Chris Brooks.
Or the people they don't make. Like, that's...
Yeah, exactly. So Chris is from by me, and I messaged him and had a bit of give and take, like, and then I just said, "I want to make a figure of you. Can I use your face?" And he was like, "Fucking, that's weird, but yeah."
No.
and that's it. Ooh,
can I use your face? Can I borrow your face?
Okay. You can borrow my face first.
Well, she got some chilies.
Nah, Steph bought me some cake.
I like Chili's, man. Chili's, they like, people say it's Mexican, but it's not Mexican. It's more like if everybody that you knew in high school got together and opened up a restaurant.
Yeah,
we ain't got Chili's. We've only just recently had Taco Bell.
Oh, bro, welcome to the club.
Fuck yeah, the bell, baby.
Try
the bell from hell.
Kids love Taco Bell. What we got here?
Just a fucking diarrhea grease trap.
Cheesy,
I fucking
cheesy,
love it.
Cheesy crunch gorditas, bro.
Let's get it. So, what else do we need to talk about? My crazy life story about why I hate emus. Why I'm scared of emus. Pretty crazy story. If we can get into that. Yeah, emus, man.
You know you want
they're
to.
they're like a big old fucking hairy ostrich, but they have
but
like
that emu video I sent
the beak of a duck, bro. Yeah, exactly, bro. Listen, they're like an ostrich, but if like an ostrich was like, you know how they're bald, like they have bald necks and bald legs. Emus are like ostriches. They're a little bit shorter, and they have furry ass hairy necks and legs, bro. But like mangy hair. They look like beat up, bro.
It's like a crackhead ostrich.
Yeah, and their beak isn't like a hard beak. It's like the beak of it's like a duck bill, bro. It's fucking, they're ugly as sin. But anyway, it happened because I had a friend in high school. See, I had a buddy of mine that we had the same homeroom class, and we would both come to school high as shit, bro, like higher than Eagle Dick. And we would both look at each other and kind of have that look like, you're like, I'm high as fuck, you high as fuck, I'm high, hell yeah, bro, gang gang. And so we became fast friends. And one day he asked me if I wanted to come and spend the night with him and shit. So I was like, yeah, I'll go spend the night with my friend on some non-homosexual shit, because 98% of the time it doesn't end homosexually. So I was willing to take that chance. So I go over to his house. Well, yeah. So I go over to his house and we shoot off some paintballs, and it gets later in the night and we're hanging out. hanging out, just spreading the word of God. And so eventually he was like, "Hey man, do you want to go shrooming? Do you want to go shroom picking with me?" And I was like, "Well, hell yeah. How far is the farm?" So he was like, "The farm is about a mile down the road, but it's run by these old folks, and they don't give their cows a salt block. So they got hella shrooms that grew up out of the cow shit." And it had just like rained that day, and it was fixing a thunderstorm. So he was like, "It's the perfect time. We should go at like the ass crack of dawn, right?" So 5 a.m. We stay up all night, bro. We pulled an all-nighter, just hanging out, doing the Lord's work. Yeah, bro. So 5 a.m, ass crack of dawn comes, and we trek over to this. It was an abandoned construction site, but it neighbored this farm, right? This big ass cattle farm. And I think they fucked with dairy. I'm not sure, bro, but it was just a fucking ass load of cows. And it was next to this old abandoned construction site. That's an important detail for later. Just kind of bookmark that one. So, but the way into this farm, or this little, whatever the fuck it was, ranch, was through these like French door style double gates. And it was kind of bowed in the middle, like as if somebody or something had pried it open just enough to squeeze through, right? If you were small enough like me. And luckily I'm built for speed, not comfort. So I was able to squeeze in there without any lubrication. So we get in there and we have our little flashlights and our little Ziploc baggies. We're ready to go, picking some shrooms. And I see a big ass line of cows, bro, like off in the distance. And I was like, "Oh shit, man, they're finna come." And it was all cows except for one big ass bull in the middle, bro. Longhorn too.
I thought you were gonna say emu.
No,
I thought it was going to get emu then as well.
No, bro. There was one big, like, fucking half-ton son of a bitch, bro. Like, just this big mammoth in the middle of him, longhorn son of a bitch. And, right, just a fucking unit. And he was like, "Don't worry about it. They're sleeping. If you don't fuck with them, they won't fuck with us. Let's just continue our journey." I said, "All right." So we continued doing the work of God. And so because we're Christian. So we keep going a little further, and we see these shrooms pop up, and we're thumping the tops of these shrooms, and we're picking up. I don't want to teach these children how to pick shrooms, but we're in there picking mushrooms, and we get enough in our bag, and all of a sudden I hear in the distance. Now, keep in mind, I've never fucking, I didn't know what an emu was, never heard it, seen it, never fucking saw it in the science books or nothing like that. No one ever taught me what it was. So it's just a foreign Pokemon at this point in my mind. It doesn't even exist.
Like,
so we're walking along, bebopping
right
along. Exactly. Just a fucking, so, we're bebopping along, and I found out my buddy was eating some of them as he was walking, and I wasn't. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But I wasn't tripping or nothing like that. So he was eating them as he was picking them. I wondered why he had like only 4 in his bag, and I had like 16, dude. So anyway, he's well on his way to his own journey with God, and he's about to have his own walk with Christ. So we get a little ways, and we hear a fucking noise, man. It was like, and I was like, "What the fuck was that? That sounded like a goddamn toucan or some shit, right?" Like, I've been to the fucking zoo and I hear that type of shit. It's either a toucan or one of those goddamn howler monkeys or something. So I'm kind of freaking out, and I know I'm not tripping, right? Like, I know I'm not having no audio hallucinations or nothing like that, because I haven't taken no drug, because I'm a Christian, right? I'm a child of God. And so he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It ain't nothing." So we kind of bebop along a little further, and we hear it a little bit louder, and it sounded like it was closer. We hear, "Ah!" I was like, "Man, what the fuck is this Jurassic Park ass shit? What kind of Mickey Mouse shit are we getting into?" And so he's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's probably just a bird or something like that, in the trees, an owl or something." And I was like, "I don't know, man. Owls don't fucking sound like that, man. That sounds like a banshee." And he was like, "No, man." So finally we hear a pitter patter, man. We get like about 30 more feet, and we hear a pitter patter behind us. And he turns around before I do, and as soon as he turns around, he snapped his head back forward to face the other way, and he just told me, "Don't move, don't look
Run.
back." No, that's the. In fact, I'll get to that. But he told me, he said, "Don't move, bro," and I said, "Why?" And he was like, "Don't look behind you because it's a fucking emu." And I told y'all, I ain't never fucking heard that word before or never fucking seen one, dude. So he was like, "It's a fucking emu." And the look on his face was like he just saw the boogeyman, bro. And so I was like, "What the fuck?" So of course I go against better judgment, and I crank my neck a little bit, and I see this 6 foot tall hairy son of a bitch with talons, dude, like a fucking velociraptor, bro. And he was like, "If you try to run, this motherfucker will catch you, and it'll kick its legs up and fucking dig that talon right into your fucking rib cage, bro, and gut your ass. And I'll have to watch, and then I'll have to kill it because it killed my friend." And I was like, "Bro, you better eat that son of a bitch if it kills me." And I'm fucking shitting. And it was at that moment I knew I needed to get back to the Lord. So I remained still for probably like, I don't, it must have been 5 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours, bro. While I'm watching this thing, like it's got like a slinky neck. It ain't got no bones or vertebrae in its fucking neck. So it's just a big old muscle just slithering around, pecking at the ground and shit. So I was like, I need to get out of here, man. So I start backpedaling, man. I wait for it to get a little ways away, and I start backpedaling a little bit, like going back towards the fence that we came in. And I realized that during me shitting my pants, I had dropped my baggie and my flashlight. But I'm worried more about my life than I am about these mushrooms or this flashlight, right? So I'm backpedaling towards the fence slowly. I'm trying to not, let this motherfucking dinosaur out of my sight. So so he's like, "I'm gonna go back for the shrooms and for the flashlights. I gotta get them, right? They're my dad's flashlights." And I was like, "I'll pray for you, brother." So yeah, I said, "I'm praying for you.
Are they Wileys?
I don't know, man, but I couldn't tell. Like I said, it was dark. But he said he was gonna stick behind and go for the flashlights and the mushrooms. And I said, "I'll see you on the other side, brother. I'm praying for you. I'll pray for you hard too."
He said, "Never saw him again, dude."
Do something for me, bro.
No, it gets better. I did see him again. No, so to make a long story short, I get to the fence. Eventually, I get to the fence, and I crawl through the little crawl space that we get in. I squeeze through the middle part, and then I hear a pitter patter, and I'm thinking, "Fuck, this thing chased me." It's my buddy, and he does a fucking sideways leaping jet plane type parkour shit through the hole in the fence, bro. And as soon as he clears that hole, the emu comes up right behind him and jumped up in the air and launched itself at the chain link and got its claws stuck in the chain link, and its beak got stuck in the little place that we squeezed through. Its beak got stuck, and then its claws got stuck in the chain link. And this next part involves animal abuse. So if you're sensitive to that kind of content, you might want to skip forward about a minute. But it's struggling in the fence, and my buddy noticed that, like I said, it was next to this abandoned construction site.
He found killed an emu?
No, I didn't kill nothing, brother. Don't you put those words in my mouth. Don't you put that sin on me, okay? Don't you put that sin on me, brother. But no, so he goes over and gets a piece of like this rusty rebar, and goes over to this emu, bro, and whacks it, bro. Whops it one time in the beak, and chipped its beak off, and like part of its tongue was hanging out. It didn't die. Damn. I don't think it died or nothing, but he definitely like chipped a part of the corner of his beak off when he mollywopped his ass, and yeah, he didn't even get his own flashlights or his mushrooms like he was saying. He lost it, I think, in the dive when he went to go do the air hogs fucking Like
Y'all didn't
RC
know this guy's farm? You didn't ask? You were just
No, hell no, dude. It was just
trespassing
some
pretty much?
Yeah, oh, 100 million%, brother.
Tight.
100 million%
Tight.
trespassing on this man's property. So I think ever since that day, man, those devil birds, they just give me the heebie jeebies, dude. And every time I
Yeah, but
see
that
one or
video
think
made you
about
laugh.
one. Hey man,
That shit was funny. They're coming for
I-
the eggs.
I felt it. I felt it. Okay. I
Tommy,
felt
do me
it.
a favour.
What?
Just say, all right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
I'm more country than him too. He lives up north. Oh, he's from Florida, I guess.
I'm from Florida, brother.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a
Florida
land
ain't
of,
the
that's a
South,
land
though.
of that's a land of misfits and opportunities.
Florida
No,
ain't the
listen,
South.
I'll
You're
tell you something.
excluded.
No, hell no. Listen, brother, the further north you go in Florida, the more south it is. Okay.
That's
The
what I'm
further
saying.
south you go in Florida,
South
the more-
Georgia's
the-
as south
the-
as you go.
No,
Well,
man. South Florida is Cuba. Okay, part two, the search for more land. All
How
right,
south
you got
do you
to
have
go
to
a little
go
north
to-
than that.
How south do you have to go to wear that shit on your head, Jace?
Right about where I'm at, Atlanta.
All right, so we didn't want to get on any more topics because
I
I know,
got,
Jason, I know you got some bullet points. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you got bullet
So
points right
the
now.
one question I had was, how did it start? And that was from Eric, but we've already been over that. Other than these nuts.
Mine, I had a question from Sam for Jason
what's up?
on how you make your belts and shirts.
How I make the belts and shirts. I mean, obviously we go to the top guy. Hellfire Designs is the top guy. He makes digital files.
Yeah, that's no secret.
Everybody goes to Hellfire. Anybody who makes belts goes to Hellfire. He's the top guy.
100%.
Digital belts for the games and stuff. And then I throw it in my little design, chop it up a little bit, raise some stuff, and then 3D print. I mean, it's not, it's in the middle of not rocket science and rocket science.
Okay, so I was going to ask, do you just use Gorilla Glue?
Loctite, yeah.
Yeah. Is that all it is glue?
So yes, but there are some things, like I'll send you a picture. It sometimes if you use too much, it gets foggy on that leather, on the fake leather. So I'll just go back with some black acrylic and paint and clean that up, which luckily
that's exactly what I haven't got it. That's exactly what I did with the flexi resin, so it went a bit smoky. So I just
you get that fog. And at first I sent a few out that was just like, damn, this sucks. Like, obviously, like you were saying earlier, the creator's eye is by far the most critical. We're gonna see flaws that nobody else is gonna see, even if it's like, microscopic or whatever. So I had to fix that foggy, but luckily my paint goes on that leather like butter, to where I can do white straps, red straps, blue straps, pink straps, whatever color strap you want, we can get it. Yeah.
It's the creative eye, like you said, that sees shit that people.
It's the most critical. And I work at a print shop, so
when
like
people message me,
go.
I always say like, what are you asking? Are you asking for me as your friend to speak to you about what you've just done, or are you asking for me, the artist, the creator, to give you the truth?
Yeah,
because when me and Tommy are talking about other people, I always have to say, Tommy, like, this is not from a personal opinion. This is from a me looking out for you as my friend. This is my professional opinion. My personal opinion is completely different, but professionally, this is, this is why it was good for me to finally get a belt from you, because I'd never actually had one before.
Yeah.
That was good. Like in that JPD tournament, I know that we had faced some friendly criticism, and it was totally fine because it was a professional standpoint.
Well, I accept it too, as long as like it's coming from a hey, you can not like what we were talking about earlier, like not an enemy standpoint, but like, hey, do this to get to here, then it's like, oh fuck yeah, dude, rock and roll.
Yeah, completely. That carrying cross I printed and painted, I don't think, I mean, my lad's here now and he agrees, we don't think it looks like him. So when I posted it yesterday, all I got was positive. It does, but
yes,
and that's what you want instead of like, this is fucking shit, bro. Like,
yeah, no haters. Get me with the haters.
You need people to be able to tell you yes or no without like stroking your balls. And you know, like I said, if you want a friendly opinion, great, that is, bro. It's great work. It is really good work. If you want a professional opinion, it could be completely different, and it depends whether you're mature enough to accept what you're asking for, basically. I had Cobb sent me a picture of a sculpt earlier. Tom Brady it was, and he was like, "Can you paint this?" And I said, "I can, but I can't make it look like Tom Brady." And he's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, just because it's the only one on the market, Cobb, it doesn't mean it's the best. Like, do you want my opinion?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll be honest with you, it's fucking dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. I wouldn't even use it as a crowd member." And he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "But if you want me to paint it as your mate, then yeah, I'll paint it." But like,
that's the kind of shit people need to hear too, though. Like, especially like people who are trying to be better. You need to like just shoot them straight, dude.
Yeah,
bro,
real talk.
We can do better. Like,
I don't know if you're the same, Jace, but I get a lot of people in the business of what we do, what you do, and they ask for my professional opinion.
100%, yeah.
And then when I give it, they take it on board, but don't do anything with it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's what fucks me off. Like, don't.
Me too, bro.
Like,
it doesn't make me mad as much as it breaks my heart.
If you want me to say, "Is this good?" I'll say, "Yeah, it's good," because it is good. But if you want me to say, "Is it accurate?" and I say, "No, the nose is too big," and then you don't change the nose, and your answer is, "Well, it's good enough for me." Passable is not acceptable.
Not good enough for me.
This is why this cross. You won't buy this again because I'm not happy with it. It's gone. It's not passable is not acceptable.
Well, Tommy and I were in.
If my lad here who's 10 can look at it and say, "Who's that?" Do you know what I mean? Whereas I can show him the Brian Cage, and he was like, "Yeah, that's on, that is." And he's 10. A 10-year-old can see it. Why can't 30-year-old people who, yeah, of course, you're obviously, you know, you live with rose tinted glasses when it's your own product, or you live in the opposite direction where nothing's ever good enough. But try and like reach out to people. Like, I have a couple of people, Tom is one of them, where I'll send them something before I show anyone else, and I'm like, "Bro, what do you think?" And then when they all three come back to me and say the eyes are too small, guess what? Fucking eyes are too small.
100%.
Oftentimes I feel like we echo the same sentiments, and it's not because like Jordan doesn't send me drafts and say like, I think this is wrong, or I don't like this, what do you think? And then me be like, I agree. He'll just give me a flat, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions?
Because I don't want to sway you
not
with
like
what I think.
he doesn't even guide me in any direction. He's just like, take a look at this and tell me what you think in general. Just what are your thoughts?
And then that gets copied and sent to Daniel, and I sent Daniel your words. This is what my friend thinks. This is what I think. What do you think? And he's like, "Yes, I see it."
Mm-hmm.
But if we just did shit by ourselves,
what a G of Daniel to be like, I see it, rather than be like, oh well, if you look closely, I actually, you know what I mean, and try to defend a mistake or try to defend something that's obviously like off par.
Well, that separates elite. Like, it's a couple of
times they've been not bad, but they've not been to Daniel's level. But it's been my fault for the reference photos that I've sent him. And then I've gone back and said, like, "Shit, I'll send you another 20. But like this, I mean, this is a misprint. But with the cage, he was like,
I was hoping this The
He
tongue,
was like,
dude.
bro, when he was doing it, the draft was that. And he was like, bro, I don't know what it is, but I can't get the face right. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look at it, like.
It's
And then he
mint.
went off and then did something. But
I don't
he's
think
just,
Daniel makes. I don't think he's ever made a terrible sculpt.
oh no, I mean, even
like-
the cross, you know, it's cross.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think he's ever made like a one I would call bad. I don't think he's ever made a bad sculpt. A little off at most, but what I'm
That's
trying to
only
say
as much. That's only as much my fault as it is Daniel's.
right.
For
And there
saying
are heads and sculpts that he has done that I've been like,
Does Daniel watch wrestling?
this is definitely.
Lucas, go check on Roman.
Does Daniel watch wrestling?
No,
He's
he
not a
did
mark?
when he was. He did when he was a kid. He doesn't anymore.
See, that's like a whole nother thing too. Like, you don't even look at these guys every week, and it's you're hitting it.
Well,
you're hitting it 90% of the time, first try, like every time.
So this is another reason where, like, even before a pledge has gone to Daniel, I'll speak to a couple of people because there was Bob Holly, for example, and he had a certain like look. I didn't see it, but they said make sure he has this look. So I told Daniel, and he was like, "Sweet." But this was Daniel Nick Gage. He's got the exact amount of teeth that Nick Gage has had. Now I didn't say give him 4 teeth. I just said here's the picture. Crack on.
Stupid detail.
So I've had a couple of arguments with people like, I don't think you have to be in the wrestling business to be able to sculpt wrestlers because Daniel's in the sculpting business and Daniel sees the face. What he doesn't see is like a biased perspective of someone. He just sees. So I'll send him one photo and I'll say, this is the main reference. This photo here is the one I want it to look like. Here's another 20 photos and it's like this angle, mouth open, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but this is what it needs to look like. And he takes them all. Or I'll say, I want this face, but with this hair. And then send in 20 photos, give him the person's name, tell him how to Google him and tell him his Instagram. And then he's off.
So tight. Artist.
So like, I don't think you need, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't watch wrestling. I keep up with the highlights and, you know, but I ain't got time to watch wrestling, to watch 20 hours a week of wrestling. But it doesn't mean that, like, I can't.
You're not passionate.
Yeah, because I'm passionate about
Art.
customizing and 3D printing. I just happen to be 3D printing wrestlers. But it's like, I've got Google, do you know what I mean? I can see every single angle of The Undertaker from the last 35 years. I don't need to have been there at WrestleMania 4 or whatever it was. I just Google it. You've either got the eye or you haven't. And this is what Tommy was saying earlier. You can be as bad as bad to start. But there does become a point where you've been doing it 4 years and you've not made any progress. You can train to be good, basically, but you in most cases you're either good or you're not good. And like when you look at, like, I know it's popular at the minute, Jeffrey Dahmer. Was he already a psycho or was he made to be a psycho? Are you already artistic or was you made to be artistic? Because for me, I've always been artistic. I used to sit there and say to my mum, tell me something to draw. Tell me this, tell me that. And Steph says to me, like, now, why do you do this? Because it takes up a lot of your time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just like making shit.
Yeah, same.
Because if I'm not doing this, I'm playing WWE and I'm doing match cards or
thinking about dumb shit. Yeah, same, dude. I told my girl the same thing. I'm like, it's like the most healthy hobby too, because obviously we love creating, we love making, and then you make some money on top of it. So it's like it's a no fucking brainer.
I'm just sort of that way. Like, I've got a diary in the side of my bed where I use it to play Madden. Do you know what I mean? And then if I see someone I like, I'll be like, right, Wikipedia, I need to know exactly who the fuck you are. And it's the same with this. Like I was telling you yesterday, Jace, yeah, 3D printing is simple, but the shit that needs to be done. I literally live 3D printing, YouTube, in all the groups. I'm on Reddit, I'm on this, I'm on that. I'm trying stuff, flexible resins. I'm spending money that might not even come down to anything, but I'm always on. And it's like, I'm just creating shit.
Yeah.
The money
product
just happens to be part of it.
Yeah. It's just a little cherry on top. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Yeah. If I wasn't doing this, what other hobby I would have? I would just be sitting down watching movies the whole time, trying to think of movies to write or making movies or blah, blah, blah. This has been said it last time. Blessing. I
haven't really gamed for a while, but like when it comes down to Red Dead, like
best game ever made, bro.
Well, yeah, exactly. But when I play Red Dead, if I kill someone out of character, I have to restart the game because I can't play games like that. And it's like you said, it's a healthy hobby because we're doing. I mean, look, you know what I mean? I've got my own office and stuff, man. Like, what would I be doing in here otherwise?
Well, and you're pushing too. You're not sitting. You're like we talked about earlier. We got to get better. We can get better. Blah blah blah. What you and I talked about the other day. I'm about to upgrade my printer because my belts are good, but they can be better. So
hi, Meg.
It's just, hey, Meg.
He said, hey.
Oh, headphones. It's right, bro. I know it rubs people up the wrong way when I say it, but it's like if you're not moving, you're dead. If you found your acceptable level, you might as well stop.
Yeah,
that's been a common motto of yours since I've met you, Jordan. You said the same thing. If you're not moving, you're dead.
I mean, it's evolution.
Grow or die.
Yeah,
that's it. You've got to keep getting better, and you know this is why I went to the 8K printers because no one else had. No one else was moving on. I'm pretty sure.
No one else was gonna.
Dude,
no one else was gonna because people they've got their level now, and their customers don't know anything better because that's the level. My customers don't sit on YouTube and research printers or pre-order printers for a year in advance and stuff like that. So we've got to do it. We've got to give, as a business, we've got to give the best that we can to our customers because otherwise it's an injustice.
I feel the exact same way. I'm glad you had the 8K too, because I've done research, obviously, had this 4K for almost a year now. I think I got it at Christmas or January. So I was like, bro, this shit slaps. I'm good. We'll coast this out. Then I sent you the file. Then you showed me your file compared to my file. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck have I been doing, dude? You have to, it's just.
You've got to see it.
You have to evolve. You have to keep going forward with the technology.
I feel like even if you don't,
we're going to get 12Ks.
I feel like even if you don't have customers and you're just making customs for a hobby or doing anything like that out of a hobby,
your shit
printing,
to look as best as it can.
Exactly. You should want your shit to be the best or look the best that
better than
it can
Mattel,
possibly get.
Better than Jazzwares. Yeah,
better. That's the point. Better, not almost as good as or kind of like, but better, much better.
Exactly.
Well, that's what it comes down to. My 10-year-old sat here now, and if he heard me say, "Yeah, we're good," what example does that set? He knows. I mean, he knows that it's always something new. Always something new. I had so this ray that I painted this week. This is in 8K. So one of my customers messaged me, and he was like, "Well, I've got to get that now because I've got it in 4K, Jace." He said, "But it's nowhere near as clear as that." And I'm like, "That's it. That's the difference." Yeah. But I do think that for the time being, 8K is. I don't know where they go from 8K.
Can they go smaller? Do you think?
I think there'll be better machines in 8K.
Okay.
But I don't think.
No 12Ks,
I don't see where.
10Ks.
I don't see where you can go with it. Obviously, 16K or something, but I don't know. I mean,
for
of course,
like for the scale that we work with,
16. That's so
I don't even
small.
know. You know what I mean? Like what would you need to print at 16K?
I mean,
other
even
than
minis,
like,
even D&D minis, you don't need like, yeah, what is, I guess, individual hair
are you trying
strands, maybe?
that's what I mean. Yeah, like hair strands or like individual skin pores and you know, I don't know.
we've
You can
already
still
got
do
them.
that with an 8K. You can do
Yeah.
you can do strands.
So I'm not sure where it goes. I think they do produce better machines because this was the first. There's another one out now, the Ogu.
They'll probably just get more efficient. You know what I mean? Like faster.
See, I was telling Jace yesterday.
Spill it.
So someone messaged me, Tom, and they was like, sorry, someone didn't message me. Someone was bragging on their story. Oh, my printer's so fast. Well, so's mine, but mine doesn't run at top speed. So to print fast,
This is a turtle race.
you lose quality. So let me pick ahead. Suzuki in Jacks. I could print this in an hour, Tom. But this takes me 5 because I do it.
Yeah, because you want it to be just right.
Well, Jason, though, with printing,
Exposure.
you do it. You've got exposure. You've got per seconds. Different UMs, which is the layer level. So I could print that in 100 and it would be done in 25 minutes, but it would have big layer lines. And that's why, Tom, when you look at the forehead, that's why you get those circles.
The orbit.
Because they've been printed
the orbits.
They've been printed in like 30 or 40 to get them done as quick as possible. Whereas that's been printed, I mean, you can't see it on camera, but I don't know did you have a Suzuki off me, Tom?
Yeah, I have plenty of your heads.
So you can see the actual 5 o'clock hair, Jace. Every single strand, little. You can't see them on there.
You have zero swirling in your print.
Build lines. No build lines.
Yeah, build lines. But the only things that I've come across, things I've come across is like the support, like having to sand down like the support where
that's
the
a motherfucker. Off. You can't get around supports either.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one motherfucker. Dude,
like I know, because listen, man, like my family owned a restaurant growing up, so like I grew up in the business industry, not necessarily like customs or printing or whatever, but it applies to literally anything in life that you do when you offer a service, whether it's food, whether it's head prints, whether it's belts, whether it's shirts, customs, whatever. You base your work off of. I was taught to base your work off of 3 things. You base your work off of speed, quality, and time, and you tell people that they can only pick 2. So if they want fast and good, it won't be cheap. If they want cheap and fast, it won't be good. If they want cheap and good, it won't be fast. You know what I mean? And just if they want good and fast, it won't be cheap.
I remember you saying that. I love that.
However, you have time, quality, and price, and they can pick 2.
So what you were saying there, Tom, about the supports. So Jace will know. So on the bottom of the cage, you can see the supports there. They're probably going to need. That's broken. It's a misprint, but there's a a couple of supports on the back of the head. That's because the support is thicker than that. But on the bottom of the sting, look how much room I've got to support.
Clean.
So that's why.
Do you have any supported? What are behind you? Do you have any?
Everything's been trimmed. Everything's been done. But like that's why this Rey Mysterio used to fail a lot, Jace, because there's nothing
neck.
To print on.
Yeah, no back neck. Yeah.
So when I used to print Crowbar, I used to print him that way. But then people were saying, "Oh, I don't like the supports on the back of the head." So now I'm printing that way, and I don't know if you'll be able to see there, but all the supports are on the inside. So sometimes, Tom, you can print a head absolutely perfect. CM Punk, absolutely perfect. No support marks, but it's because he's got a thicker neck. So the reason that you might not get supports on other people's, Tom, is because they're too big.
Is that mine?
Well, I know that I know he showed his Jay White. Here's your Jay White.
Is that mine? God, look at him. Too fucking sweet, baby.
And like I said, it's really the devil is in the details. It's like really the highlights that you put in the hair, the low lights, the highlights. Oh yeah, Bullet Club, baby. Hey guys, we're going on a commercial break here just to say that if you have not already followed It Figures 89 Chaos Wrestling Club or our special guest House 14, please take a moment to do that. Go over to our pages and give them a like, give them a view, and let us know what you think. But yeah, commercial break. Just want to let you guys know again, if you have not followed us, to go ahead and give us a follow, give us a like, give us a view. Let us know what you think. Hey everyone, what's up? We're back from break, back from our follow us break, and we're here with our guest House 14, Jordan. So Jordan, recently you had a bit of a rebrand, a bit of a business model makeover, if you will. Can you explain that and why it was necessary moving forward with House 14? And actually, you know what? Go back to the first rebrand, because when I got into the game, you were 14 Fig and had been 14 Fig for quite some time. So go over that name change and go over the brand change as far as the website goes.
Here we go. So originally, I made this logo.
That looks familiar.
Literally ripped it from Google, turned it black and white, and put a 14 on it.
Looks really familiar.
Back when I first started years ago, I didn't know what to call myself. 14's always been my favourite number. So at the time, I was called XIV Elite Figs because I was making elite figures. Then I went off on a break, and when I came back, I just cut it down to 14 Fig, just for whatever. It worked. You know, people called me 14. I quite like that even now, but it wasn't working for me on a more than a personal level, like on a business level. Like 14 Fig's a bit childish. But at the time, everyone was called something Fig or Figs or something, and it just felt right.
Right.
And then when I had to change, because then I changed logo because I get bored. That's mainly what it is. Like I said, I like to keep things
stale.
Yeah, everybody else's was doing like this It Figures Wrestling Championship, and I think that was kind of honestly my first logo ever was from Jason, and it was because I didn't even know what direction I wanted to go with my customs. I didn't know if I wanted to do like feds or fig photography or whatever. So I think that's where my name, the It Figures, comes from a lot, because like you said, everybody was something figures or something figs, or so I fell victim to that too.
Cobb messaged me the other day, and he was like, "What happened to your old account?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "All your old pictures." And I'm like, "I just deleted them." Like, I have.
You do that quite often. You delete a lot of your stuff. There's no way to go back and look at your old library. That's what Jason was saying.
No, because I mean, I don't do it as much anymore. I just try and make sure that what I'm posting, I'm happy with. But like, I've always been, as much as I can be, a perfectionist. And if I've posted 10 photos with a black background and one's got a red background, it fucks with me.
Bugs you. Same.
It messes with me big time. And then like, I was looking back at old pictures and I was like, nah, what did I post that for? So when I did the latest rebrand, I put a border on the pictures and everything sort of fits uniform now, and everything for me always has to I mean, Jay, you did my logo. You know what I'm like.
Yeah, sexy.
I mean, it's the little
That's
niggly
right.
things. But like, so when we went from that one, because that just looked amateur and shit, and you know, I ripped it from Google. Then we went to this one.
So hood, dude.
Oh,
I love that one, dude.
So I've always
Balaclava.
liked that one, but I ripped it from Google, and
Yeah.
apparently that's the logo.
The
by
pirate
14.
mentality.
It's a band or something in Italy. Karate Kid was telling me. So that used to bug me, although people recognised me. So the reason I went for like the ski mask balaclava thing was because I was going through my being a bit of a dickhead stage, and it was to represent coming in and taking over, and you know, that sort of thing. But I also wanted to. I also like luchador masks, so I wanted to sort of put a British take on a luchador mask sort of thing. And then once we went to Pledge Club, which the reason Pledge Club is called Pledge Club is because you pledge, you're part of a club, but also it was like a bit of a bullet club sort of thing.
Same.
Hell yeah.
100% same, dude.
Chaos
So
Club.
that was that. And then for quite a while, I was talking to Steph because Steph's into like design and stuff, and I wanted 14 fig wasn't working for me. Do you know what I mean? Felt like it was a bit of a, like I said, like a childish name or whatever. Everything I wanted, I couldn't get on Instagram, or I just wanted 14, and some fuckers got just 14, 1-4, or whatever it was, and they don't even use it. And I messaged them, and I messaged
Missed
them, and
opportunity.
I was like, seriously, please let me buy this username. And they never read it. They don't post. They don't do anything. And I was like, well, fuck you then. And like, I was like, what about like House of 14 and stuff? And she's like, yeah, but that doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like you're chaos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're it figures, and like House of 14, it didn't sound right because it wasn't speaking about me. And then we'd watched like there was that Adam Driver, Lady Gaga film, House of Gucci or some shit like that.
Yeah, House of Gucci.
Yeah.
And then I remember back in the day, I used to wear clothes from Top Man. I don't know if you got that there, but it was like Lady Gaga branded, and it was House Gaga, Haus, which is obviously German for house. And I said to Steph, like, I like that, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get like 14, the House 14 or something, because it just didn't sound right. So we went for House 14. So the reason we did that was because we had Pledge Club, we had 14 fig, we had t-shirts, we had hands, and it was sort of like, this is the house. That's what it means. Like people say to me like, oh, I didn't know you was German. I'm not like fucking Hereford 14 or anything. It's just the house of
You're
14.
a fucking turbo Nazi, bro.
Yeah, it's just my house. That's it. Everything's under one roof. And then we went to
This logo.
Jason then did my logos for me.
No, we did one before that. The t-shirts. We didn't. You did one before this. The bad guy logo.
Yeah.
That's the shit I fell in love with. I was
That's
like,
the one I got
yo.
on the t-shirt. I got that t-shirt,
Yeah,
baby.
I was like, stole my shit.
Woo.
Do you know what, right? It used to just piss people off. Do you know what I mean? When I said earlier that someone tried to cancel me last year, it's because, do you know Austin Diamond? I had him do a voiceover, and it was like the Tony Montana of wrestling figures and all this, and everyone just bit, man. They were pissed off. And so like I went with the bad guy because it was like, you know, bad times and all that, and it was just pissing people off, and
It's
I
the
was running
easiest
with
too.
it. It's just easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's way
you
easier
know what I
being
mean?
a bad guy.
People are getting pissed off. Yeah, I'm selling t-shirts. So and then I sort of had to humble myself a little bit and stop winding people up. So I went for the new. I've only got them here because they're in a box at the minute, but I went for the new.
Clean.
Just nice and clean, you know.
Very
We still got the same ski mask, and then we've got the H14 and
Love the ski mask.
four
Again,
customizers.
If I wasn't a pirate, I would have totally stolen the ski mask from you. Just like I'm
Yeah, he
taking
told
what
me
I
that
want,
when he was
bro.
going to make your logo. He told me when you commissioned him to make your logo, he said that your current one, he's lucky I don't take that current one.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'm about to steal this shit.
Well, and then
Straight up.
the latest little logo change, which 3 of the 4 of us in this room will recognise.
Yeah.
This room,
Oh, only the real
3 of
recognize
the
real,
4.
baby.
he's only 10. He doesn't understand it yet, but my 15-year-old recognises it, even though he swears that he doesn't.
So good.
Real
So
recognize
good.
real, baby.
I catch them.
So those are now. I know we spoke the other day, Tom, about new boxes and stuff, but those for me, let me hide my address. Those for me have acted as a way to save on packaging. I no longer sellotape the box. The box
sexy.
is sealed.
Buy the sticker. Nice.
So that's what that's for. So you know that if this box arrives, it's been tampered.
Love it.
Cool, dude. That's official.
Yeah, it seems like the black box is a growing trend now.
Yeah, black
Well, I'll
bag.
tell you what, when I first started looking at boxes, the black ones were really expensive, but I had a look the other day and they just weren't. Like I said to you, Tom, fuck off, man. They're my boxes. I do black. I do orange. Go and buy a fucking green box. But nah, it's only a box at the end of the day, and I'll just use it because it fits my aesthetic of black and white.
Bro, it's the whole presentation. I'm the same way. Like at first I was using the lick envelopes, the lick white envelopes, and then I would move to the manila ones or whatever. And then I was like, no, it's not, like you said, aesthetic. It's the presentation. Like when this box arrives to your door, I want you to see the sticker. I want you to see the branding. I want you to see like what we're about. So yeah, it's the whole presentation. That's what I dig about you too. You get that stuff.
Steph always says to me, like, why are you spending so much money on shit? And I'm like, because it needs to be right, man. Like,
because it's fucking cooler too. Like, we're just fucking cooler.
Like, I mean, look at these boxes, Joe. So these are my old boxes. They're the same, but it's brown.
It doesn't hit the same though.
Exactly. It's aesthetic.
Jason, I think I have one of the first shirts I ever got from you.
Trash.
Hey, look at this.
Oh yeah.
Guys, my lad sat here and he's just texted me saying, I tell you what, you just showed your address full. Did I not put my finger over the address?
I'm pretty sure yeah.
I started shaking it around so people are going to screenshot my address. It's on the box. It's a return address.
All your customers know your address too.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, it's not exactly private information. All they have to do is buy ahead.
Do you know what? That's one thing that worries Steph. She always said to me, what do I do when someone you've pissed off turns up at the door? And I'm
shoot
like,
them in the face.
Do you know what? Fair play if they do.
You ain't pissing anybody
I mean, I guess
off.
you guys can't shoot somebody in the face. It's the UK,
Yeah,
but over here, bro.
That's an American thing.
Over here, bro. You knock on the wrong. You knock on the wrong door. You getting blasted, son. You're getting turned into some Swiss cheese, straight up.
We got none of that here. We was talking about we watched a film last night.
I mean, over there, it's like, what is somebody gonna do? Like, if they have beef with you, and it goes like it goes down. Like over there, what really happens? Like they have a knife. All you have to do is just be a really fast runner. No one's gonna fuck with you. Just run away from everything.
Just throw hands. Yeah.
Depends where.
Yeah, throw hands or run away really fast.
We don't sort of. I mean, our area is not like harsh or anything, but when you compare it to like, you know, South London and stuff, we don't have any of that sort of, as is just normal. You don't really, I mean, to be fair, someone did get shot last year, didn't they, kid? Up the park.
Dude, in America, we pray every day. Yeah. Lots of us
4
over
people
here.
in Atlanta got shot today.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
exactly,
Over here, bro. We pray for the day that somebody gives us a reason to pull our trigger on our guns over here, bro. Like we
It's just
wait for the
crazy.
day somebody pops off the wrong way and gets capped up. They get smoked.
It's just not that way around here. To be honest, like you
That's
said,
why nobody
Tom,
can invade America. No one's gonna come over here and invade us. They're not gonna, pull up on the shores of America and start,
bro, you fucking invade yourself every 10
We're just
years.
killing each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
fuck
like,
each
that's
other
the
up,
whole
bro.
fucking problem.
We got the guns, baby. We kill each other. Don't worry about it. We'll do it. We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Give us
It's
long
what
enough.
You said, it's what you said the other day, though, Tom. You said you took a was it? I don't know. It might have been you. It might have been Cobb. Someone said they took a 6-hour trip the other day just to go and pick something up. You can get from the top of England, Scotland, to the bottom of England in 6 hours. That's a lot of effort, man. Someone from London that I might have pissed off doesn't want to drive 2 hours to come and fight me because it's pointless. You're happy to drive 5 hours to go and fucking shit on someone's letterbox?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, if somebody really
We're a different
pulled
breed
the
over here,
wrong
bro.
strings, if they pulled the wrong strings with me, you better believe it. I would absolutely take a Greyhound over to
Road
somebody's
trip.
address, straight up, bro. Road trip it just to go over there and knock on their door and swing on them.
I've started just blocking people these days. I never used to. I never thought I'd come that person, but I'm getting old now.
That's
Yeah,
what I do. I just
bro.
block people. Back when I was young, though, man, like I would straight up tell people, like, man, you come at me with that shit on the internet, that trolling shit, man. I swear to God, I'll show up to your house and I'll set fire to the back door and shoot everybody that comes out the front with a bow and arrow. But nowadays, man, you got to pick your battles.
Block them from the website. You can't buy my stuff. There you go.
Exactly. Too grown for that shit. Too much work.
Yeah, man. That's too much work. I'm not getting up off my fucking ass to go prove anything to anybody.
I got a question.
You come over here though.
I got a question from Sergio Campos on Instagram for both of you guys, maybe all three of us. What House 14 first, Jordan, what's the favorite item you've printed or created?
I'm just gonna check whether we've had a conversation with Sergio Campos Jr.
Yeah. Good guy.
Cool guy.
Good brother.
Cool guy.
Good brother.
Cool guy, good brother.
So what was the question? Sorry.
What's your favorite item you've printed / created?
Your favorite print?
My favorite print is every print that we do. Honestly, I always say, if you scroll back through everything that we do, I always say, this is now my favorite print. My actual favorite print is actually Brian Cage. It's my actual favorite print. It's unreal.
The next design will be your favorite as well. You're only getting better. Like, that's why.
Do you know what? Personally, it's really hard to beat this Brian Cage. He's sat here nodding his head now.
Do you like the Hawk or the
before the Cage? I know it was the ZSJ for sure. Had to have been the ZSJ.
Oh yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. That one brought a lot of attention on as well.
That Jay White slaps though. That Jay
I was
White
gonna say my favorite one would be somewhere between like it has to be between like the Jay White, the Hook, and then that Cage.
Oh, the Hook, yeah.
So
and the Danhausen, the current Danhausen,
the new Danhausen's
the
really
Kurt
good.
Danny is so good.
Jay White, this is the Danhausen.
Yeah.
Jay White, I'm sort of itching for an upgrade. I've done it too much now.
Right. And me and Jordan went back and forth for probably like a good 3 drafts to get that Danhausen right.
I want to start doing expressions more than standard faces. It costs me more money.
That's what I was gonna.
It costs Daniel more time.
That's what I was gonna say. A little Jay White smirk would fucking cherry on top.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and it's the same with. I'm trying to look at what I've got there now. So like, this is a different one. So we've got the straight face Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, Nick
Gage, but that works. But I prefer that.
But it's open, yeah.
Right.
And then we've got like Hardcore Bob Holly. that's got a sort of stern face instead of. I don't like plain faces. Do you know what I mean? Like even just a smirk is an expression. Just a plain face. I'm trying to look at what Mattel I've got going around. I think there's a head down there. See, I don't like just plain faces. This I know this has got face paint on it, but it's just plain. It's
No
Didn't do
expression,
anything.
yeah.
So you would say that some of your favorite prints are your more expressive ones. I mean, other than Brian Cage, you like your more expressive prints.
Yeah. So Suzuki, this is a very good one, but I went back and I had him done with his tongue out.
Yes,
It's just
cutthroat.
yeah, it's just a little bit better in it instead of just a plain. I mean, how many? You know, you look at pictures of people and stuff. How many people just stand there straight faced?
Right.
And at the end of the day, not, you know, I don't think many other people really do, other than smiling. I mean,
Yeah, just
that cage blew me away because of the teeth. What I showed you on the story the other day, all the teeth, the tongue.
Teeth and tongue, dude. The tongue was like,
Yeah,
oh
the
my
tongue.
God, are you fucking kidding?
Jason,
Even if-
what was the question for you, Jason? You said there was a 3-part question.
No, it was for all of us. It was just, so Tommy, what's your favorite item / custom / creation you've made?
I thought you were gonna ask me what was my favorite item that he's printed.
I mean, that's part of it. Well, it's probably the hook. Like I'm just gonna answer for you. Your hook or your Danhausen, the glitter Danny is stupid good.
I would say for my personal favorite thing that I've created, I'd say my biggest passion project is probably the Mortis.
Mortis, motherfucker.
Yeah,
He's
the Mortis
such a
is probably,
boner for Mortis.
he's probably my biggest passion project. But best looking, I don't know. I'd have to say Glitterhausen. I really like that Ultimo that I did. That's the one I entered for that
the contest.
JPD tournament. Yeah, I got beat out by Chawgrove's Wrath or Atom Bomb, whatever it was.
So here's one. This is why I struggle to really enjoy what we do. This is what I said earlier at the start of the podcast. You can only be the best at something if you're not the only one doing that something. So I have the best crowbar head because it's the only one, but I can't say it's the best because it's the only one.
Damn, you fucked my
I can
answer
say
up.
that Brian Cage is the best Brian Cage on the market because I've seen the cast and I've seen Jazzwares and it trumps them all.
Yeah.
But you can't have the best of something if it's the only one of that thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you fucked my answer up because my favorite things that I make are the custom belts, the custom logo belts. And then when you get it in hand and you're like, bro, this is stupid, crazy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm not looking at that and going, oh shit, that's the best hausfourteen belt. Because it's the only one. But let's say someone else does one, then I can say, well, hang on, this actually is the best.
Okay, now it is, yeah. That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. My favorites are like the custom logos that I get to do because then I get to talk to you and you're all giddy and like, dude, I have my logo on a belt and blah blah blah. So it's like almost a fanboy thing. Not necessarily my work's that good, but we got to create something that nobody else can or will create.
Yeah.
Right, that one of one feeling.
Exactly.
Well, someone messaged me earlier saying they want to get a hold of one, and I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I was like, go on, see what we can do. I was like, why would I devalue my belt by giving you one?
When you told me that, I was like, I'll send you the belt if you want to fuck around and play with it. And you were like, nah, bro, this is 101. I was like, oh, dude, this is the one I'm gonna get. That's some pimp shit.
I'm working on a little 14 thing. This is the very, very shitty what I've got in my box, but I'm gonna have it set up.
Cool. Can't wait to
Hell
see.
Yeah.
I might get my face 3D printed so you can all fuck around with it.
Dope.
Put a penis in your mouth.
There'll be like loads of hausfourteen heads on fire.
Just make
Might- you-
everybody teabag you.
You probably sell a few. Yeah.
Open mouth teabag, dude. Just dunking them in there, bro, like chicken nuggets to the mac sauce.
Nah, I won't do that to myself like that. Not that stupid.
Oh, that'd be the first thing I would do, bro. Like they have that Hasbro Pulse thing where you can the selfie series. Dude, the first thing I'm gonna
Did you
do
see
when I
them?
get
Trash.
the first thing I'm gonna
Shit.
do when I get my own, I don't care. The first thing I'm gonna do when I get my own custom head of myself is I'm gonna have all my figs just like open mouth teabag me, bro.
You can pay $80 for that?
60. I might. I don't know. It's $60 to get what you get, man. I mean,
Just call
or pay- or
Jordan and just pay the
pay
extra
Jordan
50 bucks.
150
Yeah.
bucks. Hey Jordan, here's $150 plus $60 shipping.
Tommy's already happy paying for shit scopes, mate. He'll happily do that.
Straight up, dude. No shame in my game, baby.
Did you send him that photo I sent you the other day?
No, oh yeah, dude. Oh, that was great.
I'll send it you later, Jairus.
Yeah.
He's turning red now, like thinking about it. Like,
It was on though.